Hello to all my friends out there. Hi, you guys. I hope everyone is doing okay. Okay, I'm making myself a carnivore dinner. And so today is day 10 of the carnivore diet. So I have 1 egg and some heavy cream. So I can make myself a scrambled egg. And I have found out several smaller meals is much better than large meals. Today I had bacon and I had eggs. What else did I have? I had kefir. I'm going to be making kefir tonight. Okay, these are $5, but it's no more than the $5 tea at 7-Eleven. And then here is some homemade yogurt I made. And what I wanted to try to do is I wanted to try to mix this up with like only 2 tablespoons yogurt. Look how solid my yogurt is. So tonight, after I'm done here, I'm making some kefir because I let myself have dairy pretty much. Nothing, you know, dairy within reason. So, okay, I wanted to tell you guys. So, I mentioned a couple times that my skin was rotten. Really rotten. And I thought, well, it's age. You know, I just figured, okay, I'm going to burn everything up. I kept procrastinating. And I thought I'm going to burn everything off and be done with this mess when I get around to it. And what happened, I think it was today, I noticed because I watch the carnivore videos in the middle of the night while I'm cleaning. And they say, oh, I had eczema. Well, I got some on my elbow. And look, it's almost gone in 10 days. See, it was a pretty big patch. And then I had cystic acne. I had skin tags. I had everything. And they are noticeably better. So the scary thing about bad skin is my friend went to a dermatologist and he kept staring at her and she said, why are you staring at me like that? And he said, well, your skin, what do you do with your skin? She goes, oh, well, I sell Jafra. And he said, because your skin is so youthful and that's usually an indication of the condition of your brain. So I'm thinking, wow, poor me, stroke city. That's honestly what I was thinking. Never thinking it would. I mean, I knew it was my diet, but I really didn't think it was correctable. So I thought, well, what I think I'll do is after this week, hopefully I'll lose the last. I just wanted to get down to 144 pounds from 151. So after this week, I will check my weight and then probably I'll lose 2 more pounds. One of the bodybuilders was saying, that's not pounds. That's some kind of fluid loss or whatever. And I thought, well, it's enough weight of whatever it is. And so then what I think I'll do is I'll stay on carnivore here and I'll eat something reasonable here. I'll worry about that when the time comes because it's really, my skin is so much better. So that is the carnivore diet. So one of the men was saying he was deathly ill and he just started eating steak and eggs because that's what he likes. So I had steak and I had eggs, so here's the eggs. And these eggs are good left over. I'm not super hungry. Okay, this is a steak. And I bought this steak and it wasn't the juiciest steak I ever met. So I thought, that's okay. I'll use my secret steak recipe. So all you do is just wrap your steak or roast very tightly so the steam can't escape, and bake it at 250. So, okay, This was a tasty little steak, and I put a piece of Canadian bacon, and I baked it 250, and it's really delicious. So this is a little meal ready to go for tomorrow. I'm not hungry tonight. That's another thing that I'm drinking Diet Coke. I thought small changes are going to help ultimately, just like my skin. I mean, how many women are enduring, older women? I don't know if it works. I have never had eczema. I did put eczema medicine on it, but it wasn't working. Okay, so that's the diet. So the guy said what he did was steak and eggs because that's what he likes. And I thought, yeah, I have cottage cheese. I try to go for non-fat. Cottage cheese, kefir, yogurt, I'm willing to spend a little bit more money on. I get it at Ralph's. So I went to Ralph's to get another kefir. It's low calorie. If you drink the whole thing, it's 400 calories, I think. It's 4 servings, 110 calories each. So what I was doing is I was like choking my meat down, and then I would follow it with dairy. So I found yesterday I took a break and I had eggs and dairy, and then the day before I had chicken and cottage cheese. Okay, I went to Ralph's because I needed some toilet paper, so I'm trying to buy a little bit extra. Detergent, I got a good deal on those detergent pods for $4.99. Kefir, I showed you $4.99. And then I got, this was a great deal. I got an organic chicken. These are expensive, $16.24 for $10. So this makes about, I will cook the 2 legs, I will cook the back and the wings. No, I will have the breast and then the back and the wings. The breasts make 2 meals, so that was pretty cheap. And then look how cheap the bacon was. So I bought 2 packages of bacon on sale because if I start out the day with the bacon, I broil it at 400 and bacon and eggs, I'm pretty much full for the rest of the day. The reason tonight I had a steak. Okay, so that was $31.07. Mainly what I needed was the detergent. All right. So the first thing I want to talk about is inflation. Okay, we know we have inflation. It's doubtful that it's going to get better anytime soon. So the only thing we can do is to drastically cut consumption. And don't use utilities and gasoline. It's hot here, so I have my air on, but I try not to. And the only lights I have on are this little area. And as for gasoline, no use of gasoline except to like go to the gym and go back, and that is it. And then buy food marked down only. No full price. Well, I did pay full price for the cream and the kefir because I feel it's key to keeping me on the diet. The eggs taste so much better with a little cream. For lunch, I had the eggs over easy, and my garden is coming along pretty good. I don't know how much longer it can last. I've had bad results, but it's doing good so far. Okay, so we're cutting consumption. We're buying the food marked down only. We're not using utilities and gasoline, and we're wearing the clothes out. And then when we drastically need something, we're buying something used. So I have bought very few clothes this year, so I think maybe pretty soon, maybe tomorrow or the next day, I'm just going to go to the thrift store and I am going to load up on gym clothes. My gym clothes are really short. as many as I can find, as long as they're half price, and clothes as long as they're half price. The last time I went, I bought about 5 pair of jeans, so I don't drastically need some, but if I find some in my size, I will buy them at half price, $3.50. All right? Find low-cost, non-food items. So one of the things you can do is, like when I was younger, I used a bucket of water with some detergent, which I did find a good deal on, and some bleach. And I mopped everything, and my house was clean. And then we'll come back to a little bit of this. Avoid greedy merchants. I am sick of messed up stores and with beat up merchandise that is full price, insufficient numbers of clerks. One of the things about the swap meet is the bathrooms that remind you of the swap meet. Why should we shop there? We shouldn't. Just go to Ralph's, just go to grocery outlet, okay? Okay, now on grocery outlet, they have on Tuesdays a senior day, so you get an additional 10% off. They have frequent shopper cards. Every time you buy $35, they punch it. If you spend $70, you get 2, so every increment of $35. And then after you fill the whole thing up, you can get 35% off, or you can get 35% off of $100 just for using that. And then I buy, you've seen all the discount stuff I buy there. I'm looking for kefir. I did buy quite a bit of dairy. I bought milk, and that is what I'm going to use. I bought this milk, and this was $2, and this is what I made the yogurt out of. So when you're on a diet where you're relying on your dairy, you need enough. Okay, so I'm looking for senior discounts, frequent shopper cards, and markdowns. So McDonald's has coffee senior discounts. Ralph's has markdowns on meat and produce and dairy. And they have a place where they put a lot of markdowns. Walmart has that now, and Walmart has the red and yellow tags. So sometimes when I'm looking for something, I'll just go in and say the meat. I see red and yellow tags, and I see what they have. And then they have the markdown area. Okay, Jack in the Box has one of the best senior discounts, 20% off. Sizzler has a senior menu. And one of the things is watch out for overrings. This one Walmart I've gone to, they gave me 2 within a short period of time. I'm sick of that. Put up with things that you have that show wear. Well, too bad. Your purse has a scuff. You know, just wear it until it's shot. Stock up on pet food. Okay, one of the things that I have to buy is millet. So it goes back to that food for animals, and animals are food for people, or like millet, food for people. So the millet is getting extremely expensive, so I want to stock up on that. Okay, now the lower standard of living. So all this stuff can take us to a place, well, it's to be expected, it's a recession, it's a bad recession. No, I lived through many of them, and I used to work with people, and I think, you have way more money than I do. I mean, I would see everything, like the kids got food poisoning because they ate food that was in the refrigerator too long. I mean, crying, like grabbing and snatching work and stuff. And I thought, what in the heck is wrong with you? Okay, so now one of the things is housing. So during those years, I kept my housing as low as possible. But San Diego is getting really, really bad. So I did a search, and I did this again today. Pahrump, Nevada, $600 and no credit check. Pahrump, Nevada. Las Vegas, $400 to $600. It is better than homeless. Las Vegas is suffering a lot because they rely on tourism. And so when there's a recession, people don't spend on trips and stuff like that. I am getting somewhere with this Canada thing, okay? So trips are easily enough controlled as long as you prepare. Like me, I'll go on a short trip, not too long. Okay, and the first place I'll go is Canada. It was going to be a cruise, and I thought, no, that's not what I really want to do. What I really want to do is I want to start with Canada, and then I want to branch out. Okay, now, lower standard of living. So you're thinking about housing. You're thinking about where could I live that is not too... There is no place you can live cheaper than $1,500 in San Diego. That would be like the most slummiest place in the whole wide world. Okay, now, lower standard of living, cheap food and not enough food. So one of the things we can do is devise a meal plan. So I did that. It was a stockpile meal plan yesterday, so I will give it to you again, and then we'll go on to here was yesterday, but I have another one. So long before it's ever getting to that, we're stockpiling one or two so that we can come up, just press pause or take a screenshot. We want to come up with stockpiles so that we can eat. All right, so I have another meal plan. So the menu is so important because then you're going to have enough food, okay? Egg and toast with pork and beans. So egg, toast with pork and beans on the toast, and peaches, cold peaches. One of the followers told me that. Hot dogs with fry bread. You make the fry bread very thin for your hot dog, and macaroni and cheese, or it could be chili. So you have this stuff in the house, so you're always going to have bread, and you don't need that much oil in your pan. What I do is I pick up some little of those jars of coconut oil, cheap oil, and from Dollar Tree. So hot dogs with fry bread. Why buy buns if you're broke? Macaroni and cheese. Number 3, bean and cheese burritos. You can buy them or make them, or quesadillas and top ramen. There's these dollar burritos, $1 or $1.25. Those are good, and top ramen. Number 4, baked beans with sausage links. You know, the little ones. You get 8. You fry those up. You cook them and you chop them in pieces and put them in your baked beans, and cornbread. Number 5, chicken pot pies. Okay, you can buy them frozen. So you have mashed potatoes with your chicken pot pie on top, you know, that has the gravy, and then corn. Okay, number 6, bean and bacon soup. The regular Campbell's is the one I like. And you just mix it up, but carefully put the water in it so that you don't get it too thin. Then pour milk and cheese in your bean with bacon soup. and then have a bologna, tuna, or peanut butter sandwich. That's decent. 7 salmon patties with scalloped potatoes and peas. And then I have some desserts. Jello and fruit, cinnamon rolls, you know, the cans. I find a good deal, and then I buy those. Dollar Tree cookies, or if you have biscuits or make biscuits, cut them in like 4 pieces and fry them in oil, and then, you know, toss them in sugar and hot chocolate and popcorn. So you want to get a cheap meal plan, whatever you like. It could be spaghetti, as long as you have Parmesan cheese. It could be enchiladas. It could be tacos. Okay, so back to the lower standard of living. No. Okay, so then you have your reasonable dwelling, and then there's heat, and then there's air. And so when I worked, I knew that at home they weren't using the air and they weren't using the heat. Because here it's very, very hot, and then in the winter they were always sick. Well, number 4, transportation. So the transportation is getting more and more expensive. So you want to treat your car like life and death. Make sure you're insured in case somebody wrecks your car. Lower standard of living, no extra money. Okay, if you knew how bad it was going to get, if you knew how really bad it was going to get, like you don't have enough decent food, you can't afford air and heat, you don't have gas for your car, while times are not that bad, you could find a way to save $1 or $2 here and there. Poor health. Okay, that can really devastate your standard of living like nothing else. So that is why, you know, when I was going to the gym after about a year, it occurred to me that this was not going to work on the weight, no matter how much I worked out, that it was going to have to be the diets. But poor health. Some stuff is hereditary, you know, there's nothing you can do. Now this one's very important. No community centers or churches. Okay, when I was going, I couldn't actually believe this. When I was going to the Adventist church, you know, in that church everybody knows each other, and so there was another lady who was new to the faith like I was, and she came in and she looked so bad. She had a family. I don't know. She was really bad. I'm talking in bad shape. And after a while, you know, and her and I would sit around and chat. Another one too. Another lady I knew, she has not like really rallied around very well, but I knew her from before. So the one that came in, and the ladies would go pick her up and, you know, give her all the hints and stuff, all it's a nice, they have a very long lifespan. But anyway, after time, she was markedly better. The Mormons are like that too, the Baptists. I can remember we were praying, and so they gave us this long list of people to pray for. Every kind of problem, and I'm going, dear God, la la la, dear God. And they go, no, you just put your hand on it and pray. I go, no, I got to pray for each person. Okay, churches, community centers. Now I want to talk about the Salvation Army here in the city of El Cajon. There's a lunch for seniors every day. There's food for the the homeless every day. There's provisions, non-food and clothes for the homeless, or if you're a destitute senior. Also, we have food pantries in churches 7 days a week, not Sunday. So the Salvation Army. The Salvation Army here is connected with the Red Cross. But if you have some disaster, you can go to the Red Cross. So lower standard of living, no thank you. I'm going to prepare now so that does not happen to us. Okay, now, don't we all kind of know we're going to be hit with a power outage? We don't know when, we don't know why, but we do kind of know it's going to happen, don't we? Okay, so let's think about it now. And most likely it's going to be 3 days. So we need gas and cash, water, and then eventually a life straw, just in case, like me, if I had to go get water from these lakes around here, I don't even think boiling alone would help. Okay, then, so water, prepare for 3 days, have water and salt. Why salt? Because if the freezer goes out, I want to salt my meat and try to preserve it. Because I thought, there's no power, how am I supposed to boil meat for 3 hours? Well, that's not practical. But I put a video on my X on how to, they did it like basically in the Middle Ages after cavemen. Okay, so we want salt for sure, rice, black beans, small fishes like herring, like sardines, like oysters, like clams, dry fruit like raisins, like figs, like trail mix that you can put on your oatmeal, and stuff to make the fry bread and canned food. So that is for the power outage. Then make sure you have coats, sweaters, and shoes. I can't tell you how many people just this year didn't have a coat. It's cold here when it's cold. Or how about shoes? Well, they could go to the Salvation Army, but all the dots are not on the dice. Okay, now, so what I want to do is get a life straw, a propane camp stove, a propane heater. Now I have bought these. If you don't have a propane camp stove, you can buy a barbecue and solar lights. Those are not too expensive. The square ones are less than $20. So that is, I'm going to just give you a shot of the whole everything. Take a screenshot if you want. So we're going to get, it's possible that some kind of war might also break out. I think we should be prepared for that, don't you? Mainly the thing is food, water, gas, cash, and a weapon. Home security. If the power goes out, my home security goes out. So I need a charger that's going to charge my home security and my phone. Okay, you guys, I'll see you tomorrow. Please like, comment, and subscribe. And God bless you all. Bye.